Hi guys, and welcome back to another Read This If. Now today I will be talking about Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi. So if you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I fell in love with this book really recently. It was actually published, I think, in 2016, maybe 2017, but I obviously was in a reading slump then, so I missed it. I picked this up on the shelves actually because of the Polarathon. I was going to take part, and this was going to be my travel to a foreign land or epic journey book, but then I realised that the Polarathon was meant to be 5 books in a week, and I don't read that many books in a fortnight, so it didn't work out. I really enjoyed Homegoing. As I said in my review, Homegoing is a set of short stories following the descendants of 2 sisters who never met each other. It starts in Africa, and one of them is a slave trader's wife, and the other one is a slave that is sold by that slave trader. Their descendants feel the repercussions of these decisions and these lives going back many years. To be fair, I don't think either of the original women really had a choice. The one that married the slave trader was about as much of a slave as the girl who was sold, admittedly kept in much more luxurious circumstances, but probably didn't have much independence. I really think that Yaa Gyasi did a really great job in kind of bringing to light the many different sides of the slave trade, and that includes the African tribes that sold slaves, the slaves themselves, the British and Dutch who were slave trading to America, and then obviously in America the slave trade there. You really, each short story is obviously quite disparate, so you don't really get to see the same characters very much. And once their short story is over, it is done, but they are all connected, and they all it braids together their experiences and the people that they become. And every single one of those stories tells a very unique story. It's a very beautiful pinpoint on their lives, and I just cannot stop raving about this book. This book was incredible. What kind of person would really love to read this book? So you should read this if you're looking to learn more about the history of slavery in the United States and the involvement of Africa and Britain in that slave trade. You should read this if you really want to see a different perspective, particularly if you want to see the perspective of women and other minorities throughout the ages. There is one homosexual relationship in this book. There are plenty of women standing up for what they believe is right. There is mental health representation, and obviously there are many different states of mental being. There are short stories which are tragedies, there are short stories which are romances, there are short stories about family bonds. I really feel like this book is something that everyone should read. I really enjoyed this one. I know I'm not supposed to give it reviews, so I'm not going to tell you what my star rating was for it, but just the writing was impeccable. It didn't really, every single story felt like it deserved to be there, and it deserved its place. I'm just going to read you a quick quote from the book that kind of sums up for me the way that this book is told and the kind of different cultures that you will experience when you read this one. Why do I say what? That I'm your son? Quay looked down, spoke so softly that he hoped the ground would swallow his sound. You never claimed me before. You were in England too long, Quay. Maybe you have forgotten that here mothers, sisters and their sons are most important. If you are chief, your sister's son is your successor, because your sister was born of your mother, but your wife was not. Your sister's son is more important to you than even your own son. But Key, your mother is not my sister. She is not the daughter of my mother, and when she married a white man from the castle, I began to lose her. And because my mother has always hated her, I began to hate her too. And this hate was good at first. It made me work harder. I would think about her and all of the white people in the castle, and I would say, my people here in this village, we will be stronger than the white men. We will be richer too. And when Badu became too greedy and too fat to fight, I began to fight for him, and even then I hated your mother and your father. And I hated my own mother, and I hated my own father too, for the kind of people I knew that they were. I suppose I even began to hate myself. And that was Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi. Be sure to pick this one up if you are interested in the way that short stories can be used together to craft a whole book and a whole narrative that kind of transcends generations. You don't ever go back in time or anything like that, but still, I think each one is a perfectly unique jewel, and that together they make a beautiful bracelet. Alright, I will see you next week when I will be reviewing Steel Hand Cold Heart by Rachel Menard. Have an absolutely amazing week, and I will see you later. Bye! Don't forget to hit like and subscribe down below, especially if you love me, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram for more bookish content.